Hello, my name is Mooincat and welcome back to the Beta Forum, where once again we have some very exciting stuff for the upcoming Space Age Jupiter Moon. In this video I'm going to go over some new spoilers that people have found, some interesting game assets for the town buildings, the colony buildings, as well as the units. Again, as I said in my last video on this topic, all of this is subject to change. None of this is official, but they are assets that have been added to the game, so we are pretty safe to assume that this is how things will look. Now, as I mentioned, I have made a video on this before, where I went over the goods, the technology icons, quite a bit on the map, continent maps and so on. So if you're interested in that, go check that out. In this video, I'm going to go over all the buildings and the units. So let's jump into it. Let's start with the Earth buildings. Here we have the Town Hall. Personally, I really like the look of it. Looks quite cool. ESA has some very nice blue and orange tones to it. I really like the look of it. Probably not my favorite Town Hall, but I really like it. Now we have the streets, and these remind me of, I believe it's the Oceanic Future streets, or perhaps the Virtual Future streets. They remind me of some streets we have before, but I suppose they're still alright, not really that important. Then we have the military buildings. These, personally, I think they're a little bit boring. They probably could have had some more colors and so on, but who cares? They're probably not going to be fully constructed in my city anyways, so not that it matters for me. We don't know anything about the sizes yet, or we don't have any official sizes yet, but if I were to guess, I would say probably 7 by 4 perhaps, 7 by 3 perhaps, 4 by 6, 4 by 7, something like that, or perhaps 4 by 6 and 4 by 7 for this, and then 5 by 5 probably, so something like that. Don't really know the details, but I'm sure they're quite big, as they have been in quite a few recent ages. Then we have the two residential buildings. This one looks quite small, so that's nice. That's good for events, for example. You often have to build some current age homes, or current or previous age homes. So it's nice to have a small one. This one kind of look very similar, to be honest, but this one a little bit bigger, perhaps 5 by 4, 4 by 3, something like that. I don't know. Then we have the cultural buildings. This seems to be work in progress at the moment, but this, I really like the look of it. What does it say? Gus's seaweed, I think. So that's really cool. Yeah, I really like the look of this. Some of these are a little bit boring, but this I really like the look of. Then we have the production buildings. And these, I really like the look of both, but this looks really cool. I would definitely want to have some of these in my city, just because they look cool. And this looks very small as well. I think this is 3 by 3. Again, we don't have any official information, but this seems to be 3 by 3 to me. In which case it will be a very nice addition to events, for example. Yeah, to complete some quests quicker. But probably going to rely on blacksmiths anyway, but it looks cool. It looks cool. Then we have the Great Building. The Great Building, it seems to be called AI Core, and it looks really cool in my opinion. I really like the look. Hopefully this time though, unlike the Flying Island, it is actually a good building as well, a good Great Building. What it gives we don't really know. I think it perhaps might have something to do with attack or units, perhaps, hopefully at least. But again, we don't know. Probably won't know for a couple of months still. So that is that. I'll go back to the units in a moment, but before, let's go over the Jupiter Moon colony buildings. First we have the Town Hall, and I do like the look, but it's also very dark, so I'm not a big fan of very dark dystopian looks, but it does look cool, I will admit that. So here we have the Town Hall. It's a little bit similar to the last age, I think. The Town Hall was very tall, but it doesn't seem too big, perhaps 4 by 4, I don't know, something like that I imagine. Then we have the goods buildings. These, I suppose they look all right. They do have some interesting images. This seems to be searching or surveilling something. I don't know. Perhaps a field of some sort. Some ropes, guiding ropes or something. I don't know. This one looks really cool. Seems like they are looking for something in a mysterious place. But yeah, these look quite cool. Again, quite dark and so on. But now something I probably should have mentioned, but from the last video, further up in this thread, we know that this is supposed to be the Jupiter moon Europa, which is believed to have an ocean below a layer of ice. So this seems to be kind of at the bottom of this ocean, fancy setting of that. So that's quite cool, exploring that. Then we have the residential buildings. Again, I think they look cool. Not my personal favorite aesthetic, but still look all right. The street here, I think, will be very difficult to see, similar to how it was in the previous colony. So that's a shame. Hopefully they do change that, because this looks very hard to see on this background here. That'll blend in really easily, I think, so hopefully they do change that. Then we have the life support buildings that probably never gonna see, because who builds these? But yeah, they look all right, I suppose. Again, not my favorite style. All right, let's move into the units. Again, we don't have any numbers or anything like that. We don't even know which of these is which type of unit. But anyways, we have the Abyssal Glider, Harpoon Grenadier, the Vision Drones, Glacier Hiker, and Cavitation Tank. Now, I have a kind of weird theory, perhaps not that weird, but I do actually think this is the heavy unit. So I don't think the tank is the heavy unit, which is a little bit interesting. But here we have the Glacier Hiker. If we go up to this image here, we can see it here, and we can see that there are two colors of it. That's because one of these is the champion and one is the regular unit. So in the last ages, the champion has been the heavy unit. I think that will continue. So that makes me think that this is the heavy unit. As you can see here, this is exactly the same as the animation for the Glacier Hiker. So yeah, I do think this is the heavy unit, and it seems to have some sort of probably reactive armor, force field perhaps. So it's probably going to be quite a tanky unit. Hopefully it has some more range this time compared to last time, but who knows. So I think this is the heavy unit. That kind of makes me think this is the artillery unit, which seems a little bit weird saying that the tank is the artillery unit, but I think that is our artillery unit, because I do think that these are the other three units. So this seems to be the fast unit to me. This one, even though it's called Grenadier, which is a heavy unit from the colonial ages, I do think this is the ranged unit. It looks like that in the image, I think. And looking at the animations as well, if we zoom in a little bit. Oh, we can't zoom in. Okay, never mind. Can we zoom in here? Okay, zoom in a little bit. But yeah, this seems to be the ranged unit to me. Perhaps the light unit, but I do think that the Division Drones, is the light unit. It's to me, it seems to fit better the light unit. And we have the drones from last year, the observer drones from last year, also have the drone in the name. We do have, I believe, the Arctic Future unit, that's called the drone something. And then the Future unit, that's drone something, I think, as well. So I do think this is the light unit. But please comment in the description what you think about this. I'm really curious to see. I remember last year I did make some mistakes in my guesses for which unit was which. So I will be really interested to see if I make the same mistakes this time. But yeah, that's my guesses for now. Anyways, that's pretty much all for now. That's all we have here. But we have quite a lot of interesting stuff to look at. So yeah, this spoiler forums will be linked in the description if you want to check these out yourself. As you can see, there are plenty of pages of speculation, a lot of fun stuff here, and you can have a look at that. Now, before I end though, I do want to give some thoughts and talk a little bit about what seems to be yet another copy of the previous age. All of this is familiar. All of this is the same as last year with just new graphics. So, and that was the same for my last video as well. All we learned earlier was the same as for previous ages. Exactly the same with some new graphics. So I was really hoping they would make some changes this age, and so far it doesn't appear to be any changes, but we might be wrong. They might just have not added the new stuff yet, but hopefully there will be some changes, because this live support, goods buildings in the colony, all of that, that's exactly the same mechanics as last year, as last ages, as the last 3 ages. So I don't know, I'm a little bit disappointed. I do like the graphics, the units do look cool, but unless they make any changes or make any upgrades, other parts of the age, it's just going to be another carbon copy of the previous age, and I'm not really too interested in that. So hopefully they do make some changes. Hopefully the Great Building is a good one. To be honest, I'm not that optimistic looking at all of these graphics, but we can always hope that there are some interesting stuff. And I think I will end it there. So hopefully in the future we will learn some more new stuff. Alright, before I end, let me thank my Patreons. I would like to thank Homestar, Merrick B, Arkler, Hugo Kang von Count, Jon Fredriksen, Jude Generous, Filda, Rocco, Henrik der Erklärbär, and Mattia. Thank you all very much for your support. Thanks for watching, take care, and I will see you in the future.